I am Walkster 1970. This is my 2024 year-end review. This is where I talk about the projects that I was working on this past year. I'll be covering the videos and what I'm going to be doing for 2025. First off, I appreciate all of you watching and subscribing to my channel. I thank you for everything you've done for the channel this year so far. I hope you had a great Christmas and have a happy new year. So let's get started. Today I'm just going to be covering the videos that I had for this past year. I'm not going to cover the shorts like I did last year. For 2024 I had 55 videos, so let's go over them. I'll go by month to month. I'll go over each month, and if there's any descriptions I need to give, then I'll go ahead and give them also. So let's get started. January, I had the 2003 Matrix coil replacement. That's still working good. And I had the 2003 Matrix fuel pump replacement. The fuel pump's a little noisier than what the original one was, but it's working good so far. Then I also had the epoxy flooring, my experience and opinion. Epoxy flooring's holding out pretty good. I have a couple spots. Whenever I backed my bike out the one time, I caught bottom and dragged on it and scraped it up. But I've been careful with it, and overall it's been working pretty good for me. Then I had the 83 Shadow 750, first ride of 2024. Still have that. Then in February, had the 84 Shadow 500. Can the valve covers be replaced without removing the engine? They can be replaced. I had someone else told me they were able to do it. You can't take the valve covers completely out. You got to just try to slide the valve cover gasket out from underneath it, and get the new one in. But I wasn't able to get the cover out from the rear engine, or the rear of the engine, valve cover. Then I had the 06 Harley Ultra Classic, features and issues that need addressed. Also had the 83 Shadow 750 brake caliper, removal and inspection. Also in February was the 83 Shadow 750 front brake caliper rebuild. It's still holding up good. In March I had the 83 Shadow 750 sight glass replacement on the clutch master cylinder side. The year before I had done the front brake master cylinder sight glass replacement. That's holding up. Kickstand pad printed on a cubic Viper. That was in March. Installing taillights on the Viking trunk. 06 Harley Davidson Ultra Classic front engine mount replacement. That one is still holding up good. Then we had the 03 Matrix caliper, rotors, brakes, and lower control arm replacement. I need to have all that done for PA state inspection. Then we had unboxing and use of the King Bolin battery analyzer. That was pretty good. In April we had the 03 Matrix XR Autosaver 88 catalytic converter, the 5th install. Haven't had to put another one in yet. Then in April we had the April ride to Battlefield Harley Davidson on the 07 V-Star 1300. Then we had the 07 V-Star 1300 ride from Adams to Perry County, PA. May we had the 06 Ultra Classic cam tensioner inspection removal. Then we also had the 06 Ultra Classic inner cam bearing replacement. May we had the Ultra Classic front tire replacement. And then after all the repairs, in May I had the morning ride to York, PA on the 06 Ultra Classic. In June I had the 2015 RAV4 front brake and rotor replacement, replacing the spark plugs on the 06 Ultra Classic, installing cam chain tensioners on the 06 Ultra Classic, 06 Ultra Classic front brake fluid change. Then I had the Tour Pack relocation kit on the 06 Ultra Classic. In July, the 01 F-150 front brakes and rotor replacement. That was for the PA state inspection, which it passed. And the Big Sucker air cleaner install on the 06 Ultra Classic. That gave it a little bit more power. And then pressure washer maintenance. Fixing the pressure washer crankshaft seal issue. That's still holding up. It's not leaking anymore. And then I had the video from the geyser from whenever we were in Iceland. That was a good trip. Installed an oil cooler on the 06 Ultra Classic. That brought the engine temperatures down. I was having a problem before where whenever it got hot the oil pressure would drop off, but that seems to have fixed the issue. Oil pressure doesn't seem to drop off as far as what it was before, and it seems to be running a little cooler. I did a video then on the kitchen faucet low pressure fix. Then I had the 01 F-150 tailgate backup camera installation. I finally installed that backup camera that I was going to install the previous year, and that works really good. You have to check out that video. And then at the end of July, I had cleaning a carb on a Honda inverter. That was a Honda inverter that my neighbor wanted me to work on, so I cleaned the carburetor up for him and it works great. August, Cub Cadet CS3310 maintenance. That was the chipper shredder that we got, that I did some routine maintenance on it after I'd purchased it. Icon metric tap and die set. That was the tap and die set that I got for fixing retapping the threads in the throttle body for the 01 F-150. Then the 07 V-Star 1300 low oil switch replacement and oil leak fix. That has worked great on that 1300. I haven't had another oil leak on that since I replaced the, what was that? They call that the, whatever that tube was that goes up through the bottom of the engine. I think they said it was a dipstick tube or something like that. And that and the low oil pressure switch, because I was having a problem where whenever I started it up cold, sometimes whenever I take off down the road, the low oil light will come back on. And after I replaced that, I haven't had that issue anymore. Then in September, we had the tour of the Fanad Lighthouse. That was from whenever we were over in Ireland. It's a nice tour. September, I also had balancing the rear tire on the 06 Ultra Classic. Restoring headlights with Mother's Powerball for lights. That was an old kit that I found laying in the cabinet, and it worked. But after I got done cleaning those headlights up with it, I threw it out. It was separating too much. It was getting watery. Then in September, I have installing the 75mm throttle body on the 01 F-150. That was the BBK that I got from, well, I got it from American Trucks. And I had a problem with the first one. It wasn't machined properly. The second one was not machined properly. So I sent that one back to BBK and they remachined it, or they finished up the machinery work for it, and then they sent it back to me and it's been working good. Then crossing a covered bridge. That was on a covered bridge ride that I went with a bait, and we had gone over some other, couple other bridges also, but that was the only one I got a video of. Then in October, we also got the PCV hose assembly replacement on the 01 F-150 with 5.4 liter. That was an easy fix. That probably took about 15 minutes to pull that old hose off and put the new one on. Then I had the 01 F-150 catalytic converter removal and reinstall. That I had purchased a set of catalytic converters from American Truck, and I thought that I was getting ones for a 4-wheel drive truck, but I ended up getting the ones for a 2-wheel drive. The ones for the 4-wheel drive were almost, they were probably another $500 more expensive, so I just decided to ship them back, and I ended up temporarily fixing, or I ended up doing a repair on the catalytic converters that is still holding up. November, I had repairing the catalytic converter, there we go, and the KHS Flight 800 rear tube replacement. I haven't had a chance to take it out yet. And then in November, I also replaced the coolant hoses on the 83 Shadow. I had one that sprung a leak, and I was able to match one up at the AutoZone. I was able to get one from AutoZone. I took in the old one and they matched it up, and it's still working. Still holding fluid. After that, 2019 Chevy 2500 oil and filter change. I'll have to do a video on that truck. I got a replacement truck this year that is in 2019 Chevy Silverado 2500 High Country. It's got a lot of nice features. We got it so that we could pull our 25-foot camper, the old 01 F-150 with the 5.4. Even though I've made improvements to it, it still struggles to pull that trailer, that camper. Then in December, I had cutting open an oil filter. That was the oil filter off of the 2019 Chevy Silverado 2500. I just wanted to show you what one looks like inside and to see if there was any metal particles in there, which it looked good. December, we also had the 03 Accord rear brakes caliper and rotor replacement. That was needed. Well, the brake pads were low, but that was needed to pass PA state inspection. Had the heavy-duty power socket installation on the 30-liter ultrasonic cleaner, which I used that. I ran it for about 15 minutes or so, and it seems to be holding up. The old switch got hot. You could actually smell it like plastic burning. And then in the end of December, we got the snow blower carb rebuild, which seems to be working fine. I got to get some more gas for it yet. Knock on wood, we haven't had any more snow yet, anything significant, so maybe I won't have to use it this year. But anyways, that'll do it for all of the videos that we covered this past year, all the videos that I had, all the projects that I was working on. So let's go around the shop and I'll show you where we are with some of my projects. Some of them, I've got some that are completely done, pretty much, and there's some that I still need to work on. Start here with the snowblower. This is a Troy-Bilt 26-inch snowblower that I was working on. Got the carburetor cleaned up on it, replaced the starter rope. Everything seems to be good on that for now. Here we have the 2006 Harley-Davidson Ultra Classic that I purchased, I think it was February, March this past year. I did a number of repairs to it. I did the upgrades with the oil cooler. I got another stereo. I didn't record that. The stereo wasn't working on this whenever I got it. And I think that's about it for this one. The Big Sucker air filter kit, cam chain, tensioners, bearings replaced. And I rode this down to Ocean City Bike Week this past year, and I did not have an issue the whole way down there. Rode it around down there, rode on the boardwalk for the parade, and seems to work pretty good. I'll probably need to check the tensioners again this year, make sure everything's okay. I have some braided lines for the oil cooler. They're around here somewhere, I'm not going to dig them out, but whenever I got the oil cooler I upgraded to the braided lines, but to do the braided lines I gotta use a grinder to cut the lines because they're obviously metal braided lines, and I need to do that yet. So I'll probably try to get that up on the lift before riding season again. Over here, I've got still got the 1986 Chevy Camaro IROC Z. Now it's got my clothing on it. I'm getting closer to getting the rear end jacked up and dropping it out so that I can get into the fuel pump. Back behind the 86 IROC Z, I have the 83 Honda Shadow VT 750. That is my parts bike. I took some more parts off of it. I'm hoping to strip it down and possibly sell parts off of it. I want to check the engine and see what's going on with that. It's locked up. I think it's toast, but maybe there's some good parts in it. And then here we have the other 83 Shadow 750. This one does run. It's just holding my coat for now. Last thing I had done was the hoses for the radiator. Those are right here. This one here, if you can see it, and the other one was up in the front. Oh, no, down there. That's the other one I replaced. No more leaks from that. Here is the 85 Honda Shadow 500C. That one I'm working on taking the engine out of it to find out what's going on with overdrive. I was hoping it was something simple like the shifter linkage, but I wasn't that lucky. You can see I got some of it taken apart now. I got to get that rear exhaust pipe off, and it doesn't want to clear the exhaust manifold. Can't get the clear out through here, so I think I'm gonna have to take the muffler off and then shift it out of the way. I'm gonna have to take this cross brace off the side to be able to get this cover off. See what's going on in underneath there. So that's it for the 85 Shadow 500C. Then over here we have the 2007 V-Star 1300. I had this out some this past year while the Harley was being worked on. This is the one I actually took out on the Cover Bridge ride. So that seems to work pretty good. I'll probably have to put the battery in the tender and give it an oil change in the spring. Here we have the 30-liter ultrasonic cleaner that I worked on. That seems to be working good. And I think we got the weed whacker over here that I still need to work on. And down here is the oil cooler that I'm going to be installing on the compressor. Sort of like an air dryer, moisture separator. I'm going to get it so it'll cool down the moisture coming from the compressor, and then it'll be able to go into the water separator better. Trying to get rid of any residual water that might be in the system. Trying to make an air dryer, so maybe I can do some painting. I don't know. This coming year, 2025, I'm going to be doing some more work on the 500. Hopefully get that taken care of in January. Hopefully start on the IROC. This coming year, I'm also going to be working on a 2007 Nissan Altima. I'm going to get that ready for PA State inspection. I'm probably going to end up selling that. Probably going to end up selling the 2001 Ford F-150 once I get that cleaned up. I might be selling the 500 and the these 1,750 so I can get some more room in the shop here. Starting to get too many bikes in here. You can never have too many bikes, but anyways, I think that's covered about everything. I have some spare parts laying around for, I think that was an 87 XL 600. That was a rusty bike, that rusty engine that I finally got all separated. I sold one of the parts off of it. I sold a case half. And I have the chainsaw that I can probably sell that for parts. And I have some parts from the other 86 Honda VT500C that I'm hopefully going to be using to fix the overdrive in the other one, but we'll see how that turns out. So I think that'll basically cover everything for this past year. I might the Honda, I'm going to have to do some work, I think, on that yet. Maybe a valve cover replacement, and I've got an air filter, and I have a cabin air filter for it. So I'll be doing that also. That's on the 03 Honda Accord. That's basically everything now that I've done this past year, and looking forward as to what I'm going to be doing next year. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and stay safe, and have a happy new year. Thanks for watching.